All right, happy Friday, all you devils out there. Sam here with you. Oh, it's about 1:25 on Friday the 2nd here. Now, of course, we'll take a look at Bitcoin. Now, I'm going to focus a little more on short-term trading here. Before we get into that, I'd like to introduce you to our latest sponsor. Now, is any of the regular viewers here, whether it be YouTube subs or members, know that we don't take sponsors often. We don't take it lightly. We have to really like someone to attach our brand reputation to it. But I've been in contact with these guys for some time, and with very deliberate follow-up from them and watching them grow and some of the things that they're doing. I'm finally pleased to welcome them, and very glad to have them sponsoring us. Let me just quickly introduce you just a little bit about BitGet here. So this is really an up-and-comer. It's quickly becoming my favorite exchange for a number of reasons. Not just the fact that they're sponsoring us, but it's really fast and easy to trade with. So there's a couple of things to point out here. One, this is incredibly easy to create an account. There's no KYC involved. They're based in Singapore, so you won't have any issues if you're US-based. So that's one quick benefit here. You can literally have your account open within minutes, if not less. Very fast and easy to open an account, easy to fund. You've got a lot of options with how you fund, whether you're sending dollars using a credit card or transferring over some crypto. Lots of benefits here. Rather than try and go through everything here just in this quick little introduction, I do want to introduce them to you. We do have some benefit attached to, should you want to support the channel, support what we're doing here, that we want to create some benefit for you if you're interested in setting up a new exchange. If you use our link, we are going to give you some perks from that. And then over the weekend, if not this weekend, in the very near term, I'm going to do a more detailed walkthrough as to some of the benefits and some of the, just for any of you that perhaps would just like a bit of a walkthrough on how to use this exchange. There's a lot to it. They're very active, lots of things going on, lots of opportunities here. They're pretty much anything you'd want to trade with, well, within reason here, you're going to find here. I'm particularly drawn to the futures trading. So you have margin coin futures here. This and this is what I was trading on this morning here. Again, this will be you'll find this very, very comfortable here. You've got your order book here. Very easy to place orders, take profit, stop loss. I mean, it's literally one click and you're in. So you've got a trading view chart here. There's lots here. So I would just consider this just an introduction, and then look for a more detailed walkthrough for any of you that want some of the specifics about what's available to you here. I think that's about as far as I'll go right now before doing that more detailed walkthrough. But I encourage you to come over here and take a peek at it. In conjunction with the holiday promo, as so many do, we're going to offer you a little bonus here. So this is something we would typically do, and we will honor these promotions here for any of you that are interested in the educational system, right? That's the upper belts where you get into all the extensive training that we offer to traders, and it's not crypto specific. I should be clear about that. It applies to, a chart's a chart, right? I don't care what it is. You're going to trade them the same way. So for any of you that are interested in the opportunity here for the educational programs, we're doing some discounting here on those. Now, to take advantage of this, you would have to use these discount codes in the checkout. Now, take note here that they're capital sensitive. So you have to do capital letters here, Labor 20, Labor 25, right? Now, the additional benefit here, if you use our link to go over to BitGet here, and you'll find that link directly under this video. If you use that link and open up your account, we're going to give you 1 free month of educational membership. Now, I should make this note here. For those of you that might be new to us or have considered coming in, when I say we're going to give you a free educational month, if you were to come in and start with us in the belt system, you start with the white belt. Now, the white belt, of course, is free, right? That's the introduction to our educational content. So when I say give you a free month, what I mean is that you can have a free month once you've passed the white belt, right? So before you can get access to the blue belt, you got to pass the test of the white belt, which is, it's certainly very doable. Most people can do it if they apply themselves in relatively short order, but you can't just wing it and get through. You won't pass. we have lots of people try and do that. They just want to get to the upper belt, so they just wing it on white belt, and they don't pass. And you can't get access to the blue belt unless you pass the white. So the way that would work, if you were joining us for the first time, come in, you got to pass the white belt. When you do that, then just let us know, and we would know, but just if you were in a hurry, so that we don't miss it, and you wanted to get immediate access, you could just DM us, hey, pass the white belt, and then we will comp your first month into the blue belt. Now, you may be able to do blue belt in a month. Some have. If you apply yourself, it gets progressively harder as you go, as you might expect. So that's just another promotion that I'm going to offer here. Oh, shit, I've been going longer than I would have thought I would be here. But I don't do a lot of promotion often, but we're really excited about BitGet. I think if you come over and take a peek, you're going to like this quite a bit. Again, incredibly fast, very easy, lots of options, lots of different things to trade. They've got a very full-featured copy trade program that is literally one click. So, again, I'm going to go through this in more detail. Look for just a dedicated video here for those of you that have an interest about some of the nuance here and some of the very cool things that you can do within this exchange. Again, I remind you, if you want to take advantage of any of this, the link will be directly underneath, or you could just go over to our website at TradeDevils.com, and if you're just on the checkout process, if you were not, for example, if you were not interested in the BitGet exchange and you just want to come in to get the educational material, maybe you're an equity trader or an index trader or a day trader or an FX trader, it wouldn't matter, right? You can apply this content to any asset. It makes zero difference which asset it is. So there you go. You look for that link underneath. That'll bring you over here, and literally, you can, your account is open in 60 seconds. It's pretty sweet. Okay, with that said, let's come over here. Now, so here, of course, BitGet is over on TradingView. Really, let me pull out for a second, because this is just a cluster F down here. It's what's interesting. We are getting some impulsive movement up, right? So we have two impulses here, but what's come off of it is deeper than you might anticipate. So really, if you just look at it here, if I were to take this labeling off here, which I can't do here quickly, it's starting to look like it might be a triangle, right? It's a little overthrow here if that were the E. If we're coming down here, so if that's A, B, C, D, E. Well, if you're bullish, that's implying the wrong direction. Now, what's interesting about this is that you actually could trade this. Let's label it. You could trade this as 1, 2, 1, and we're working on the 2, so 3, 4, and 5 would all be up here. Let's go up. Oh, here we'll put them in white. I mean, this would be highly unusual, but it's not out of the realm of possibility here that we've gone 1 into an A, B, C, right? We'd have a slight truncation in the C. This, pretty much a liquidation wick coming down all here, but being spared the lows. So what we're getting is higher low, higher low. Now, what we're not getting is higher high. So thus, really, what are we doing here? We're just in a box. In a hot box down here. Now, when we look at this on the smaller time frame, well, there's trading opportunities here, and they've been damn near exactly the same. So you had an impulse here, so we get a little kickback here. There's a retrace, failure to get the new high, right? That's the key, right? Remember, right? If there are stops above that pivot, if they can't get them, well, got to cover, right? Down they go. So you look here, you had damn near the same thing happen here. We get an impulse. Oh, come here. We get an impulse up, right? We get a little retrace, a little kickback. Can't get the liquidity up there. Whoosh, down it goes. Right. Very so. So this, and I actually traded this morning because I'm enjoying this new how fast this is, right? It was boom, boom, right? It was just so fast, so easy here, and it was hard to miss, right? So I actually was doing it on the 15-minute. You look at this on the 15-minute, and I mean, it's hard to miss it, right? I mean, this was just staring you in the face. So of course we had the employment report this morning, and risk asset gets launched higher. And then, right, as is often the case, right, that gets turned around. But if you look here, I mean, this is literally, boy, there are times when Elliott is so good, I don't know how people Yeah, well, let me rephrase that. I mean, this is where Elliott is particularly effective. So I've got a 1, 2. Then you'll note here from this pivot here. Now this happens pretty fast. Boy, I get just a textbook. Like I can't get it any better. Just this little impulse into my 3 here. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, what was the thought here? Oh, sure looks like an A. Like I got a B. So when you're right there, right, and this, you guys have heard me say this a gazillion times. That's so whether it's a long and you're looking for that, or it's a short and you're looking for that, this is the ideal way to enter. Because where's the stop, right? What's the risk, right? Stop's just above, right? Or stop's just below. Same idea. You've heard me say it 1,000 times. Okay, well, let's just, here. Well, I mean, a number of places you could have put it, right? But certainly you have it right there, right? And then on the other one, right, you had the exact same thing. Right? Here, I mean, this is why this is powerful. I promise you at that point in time, anyone who's long is all they're doing is eyeballing that pivot because they know there's a bunch of stops there. Right? They're, oh, shit, here we go. We're going to go get them. Right? And you see, there's an attempt to recover. But once we start here, now, if you got an Elliott, it's damn near the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So here's the impulse, just like we just had here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It's again, where are the 5s, where are the 3s? Well, here's a 3, here's a 3, here's a 3, here's a 3, right? You just, it's like, it's screaming at you like, hey, opportunity, opportunity. Now, is this always going to work? Of course not. But when you see it, you can't hesitate. You got to pull the trigger there. Again, I mean, it's risk reward is the benefit of this, right? So if you're, let's do it that way. Stop over the pivot. Now, first target. Well, no, this is just the 200. This is the God EMA, right? The 200 and the EMA and the SMA average, right? It's a nice proxy for the Vegas wave. I just use it to keep the chart a little bit less cluttered. Well, there's your first target. Well, I thought we had 3 to 1. There we go. It's just about 3 to 1 to that first target. Now, did you know it was going to go that far? No, you didn't know. But with, you don't want to use heavy leverage here, right? Not when we have this report in the background and the market's acting a little fickle, if you will. All right. I wouldn't go heavy leverage here, but God, what a gorgeous setup. Now the reason I point here to the SMA is because if you were thinking, oh, hey, I got an impulse, could that be a 1? Where's the 2? Well, that's deeper than you would have anticipated, right? So a first target here, in this range, right? And that's how I did it, right? So right about here, okay, first target, right? I was shocked that we went that far, but where'd we go? 786. Right, I mean, I was quite surprised we went that far. But I mean, look what's down here, right? So here's our last little demand zone here that's been tested repeatedly. Boom, boom, boom. Right. Well, I mean, suppose here, right? This first, we've had 2 tests of it. Now, does that mean it's going to hold? Absolutely not. But so far, right? We know where the demand is. So if we come down here, we get under 20K. Whew, boy, we come out of here impulsively. I mean, you could damn near call this an impulse, right? But the Elliott count is iffy here, right? I mean, really, is that what we got there? Is that an impulse? Well, it doesn't really fit per an Elliott count. You'd more likely, if this ends up being a triangle, and I don't know, anybody knows what it's going to be yet. Well, of course, you wouldn't want these 5s here. You want this to be a series of 3s. Now, could you wedge it in? You probably could. Probably could, right? So you go, how are we going to do this? A, B, C, A, B, C. A, B, C, A, A, B, C, A, B, C. You do the same thing, right? Now, I will say this, it plays better here as a, let's see here. Make sure I didn't, yeah, we're good. So it plays better here as an impulse. But if it ends up that when we step back to a larger degree, if it ends up this is a triangle, well, can we wedge in there? Can we turn it into it? Yeah, well, yeah, we could. Do I think that's what it is? Well, hang on, sorry. The idea is not to project what you think it is. It's what's most probable based on what we can see. What can we be definitive about? Well, okay, so I've got an impulsive swing. I have a retrace to the 786. Now, is that unusual? No. What's unusual is that if we're trading this, if this is an A, B, and that's a C, boy, the proportion there is unusual. Atypical. And so unusual. I just coined a new phrase. It's unusual. It's atypical. All right, so what's coming out of this? Now, so you might think to yourself, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see what's going on. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3. Well, okay, consider that. If that were the 4, right, does that look like a good 1, 2, 3, 4? Well, okay, might be. How are we going to know? Well, we're not going to know until we see what happens here if we're going to start to head down. Are we going to turn it into a 5? Well, that would be bad news for bulls, right? Because then the thinking is, if it's a triangle, well, we're just starting in the 1 before we go much lower, right? Or, I mean, we've got targets down at 15K. So what's a trader to do? Well, when it gets squirrely like this, where, even if, here I'm going to go over to, I've got this over on Bitstamp here because we looked at this a couple of weeks ago, where it's just all these flags, right? It's just one flag after the next. One flag down, flag down, flag. Now, if this ends up playing as the 4, which certainly right now that appears most likely, well, then you got to look at this and say, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, right, and we're heading lower down to this 15K range. I bring it up here a little bit, which we had looked at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get us done down here. Is that what's happening here? Can't rule out, right? Certainly. That looks like the path of least resistance. Now, so remember, most of the time here, when I'm demonstrating here is longer term. If I'm here, I'm on a daily, right? I mean, this longer term, because I will continue to remind you that Elliott Wave is most effective when you're out 60 minutes and higher, right? I mean, really, I'd almost say 3-4 hours and above is where it's most effective. But here it is on the 15-minute, right? It's equally as effective, right? Can you trade that B into that C? Can you trade that B into that C? Well, okay, what do we do here? From 20K to 19.5? Okay, well, take a 3x on that. You won't be disappointed in that result. But if we come back here and look at this, okay, is this where we have to go? Is that where we're going? Well, I mean, the count, right? Again, I'm just there's no, you almost don't need the Elliott here, right? Swing flag, swing flag, swing flag, right? And they look like 5. I mean, certainly here we see the 5 here, and with this, never did take the shit. I mean, it's kind of a hopium, maybe a diag there, and it still is possible. I mean, still possible. It's not. Come here. Can I even get you out of there? Still possible that we've got this. It's possible. But boy, that's not the start that you wanted. But you could, I mean, if we rock it out of here, damn well we're going to be doing this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as we come out, right, of the hole down here. Now, does that seem the most probable? Well, I'll get a lot more enthusiastic about that when I got that 3. I mean, right now, what do I got? Right, I just got from low to high. Out here on the daily, I'm just in this demand zone here. I got another one down here. Oh, pardon me, that's my own draw. But you'd have. Let's think of it this way. What's down here? Liquidity. So just as with any pivot on the board, right, particularly significant ones like this, if they can go get it, right, they will, right? And if they can't, so anyone who's short right now as it sits right here, oh man, they got a couple of juicy pivots down here, this being the major. If they can get it there, they will, right? So what's going to hold it? Right, enough buyers that have to be here. Oh shit, do I have let's see, take a look at that. Let's see if I can get this going real fast. We look at the order book real quick. I mean, we look at the order book over here. It's just that we don't get the same graphical display. I mean, we're getting, I can see some size down here, but you see the market start to kick back. Now here's the, what have I got, a 20, a 50, and a 200. I think these default, they come up that way. But as we're coming back. Now, what's the first thing you want to check here? What's the first thing you want to check? Right, I got to assume you guys would, well, there's two to think. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, well, I'd check both. But let's start with the dominant. Okay, we're kind of in between. Now let's go to the secondary. If that's a 2, pretty close to the 50, right? Now, what's the algo going to use? Well, it would use, certainly it'd use both of them, right? But the dominant would be more, we know it's going to use that. Oh, here, they probably did use that, right? It's likely it was here. It was, right to the golden zone. So thus, they would use it. So thus this pull is legit, right? They would use that. So we're coming right to the 50. Now, if we're going down here to target, where is that pointing? Right back to this demand zone. So this kind of chop here it's not, if you're looking at a daily chart or a 4-hour chart, well, you're sitting on your hands. Well, you come down to something smaller like this. I mean, there is opportunity down here. You got to be on top of it. You got to be watching. I mean, you didn't have a lot of time. The other thing that's really affecting the dollar here is I come back to our, what am I, trading view. We come back here. Let's go back to an hourly. So we look at this. To some degree, I often will tell you guys, if the Elliott's not helping you here, well, let's take all the drawings off. If the Elliott's not helpful to you here, now do we know what this is? Well, no, we don't. But what looks like we have is that. It looks like we've got this triangle going in here. I mean, certainly, if you could do it that way, and we could do it. It's more common to see the overthrow or underthrow in the E, so A, B, C, D, E. Well, now we got, again, as I said before, these all have to be 3s. All right, is it a bunch of 3s? Well, yeah, you can get her done, but is it ideal? Well, not really. Not really. Now, so you might look here and say, okay, well, all right, I can see a couple of things. Well, clearly there was a little pause here, right? Little pause there. Right, of course, right? We're going to check here. Right, looks like we're kind of in a box here. I mean, if this is a triangle, where would you anticipate it, right? So for the A wave to kick to the 38 would be pretty common. But then again, right, per the count as we were just looking at it, your anticipation with this labeling would be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, is that likely to be the 5th? Right, obviously not, right? So you'd be thinking 3, and now we're going lower, right? So this was the 4, this is a 1, 2, and now we get the big 3, and now we're chasing some of these lower levels down here. Again, remember, that's a 1 hour. So if this ends up being as a 4, wait, it can't be a 2, right? We can't have a triangle in the second. So the odds are, okay, well, if this is, now what makes that a little trickier is where's the 1, 2, right? I mean, this, again, we come out to an hourly, this gets suspect. So where else can I have a triangle, right? Well, so possibly we could have some sort of a complex correction going on here, and there's WX, and we're going down for another ABC. Too soon to tell. The Elliott here is mixed signals is the best way to describe it. But that doesn't mean we can't trade it. And it doesn't mean we can't use the Elliott to identify opportunities, which is pretty much what I was trying to get to you here. I mean, that's not the one I want. On this one here, I mean, this was such a, God, I just looked at it and thought, oh my God, if that breaks that pivot, right, that's how I did it, right? If it breaks the pivot here, down we go. I mean, it's just not a hard trade to take, right? You could, the risk reward, very clear. I mean, you could have done even tighter with a stop here. I just know that there's liquidity here, and if they couldn't get it, right, so I can give it that much room. Just 3x leverage, easy, boom, 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 short. You monitor it right on the chart. I mean, again, it's just these margin coin futures are really, really, really slick. All right, so all right, and you see that. Now, what else do we have? The one thing that seems to be really affecting all risk ats here is King Dollar here. So let's go take a quick peek here. A few things I think you'll find interesting. So note here, now this is of course, right, this is going to affect all risk assets as we go 1. It looks like it's WXY into the 2, 3. Looks like it's the problem with this is it's kind of an ugly flat. because this sure looks like a 5, but so you'd have to do 3, 3, 5. So this is a bit of a, it's a bit of a force fit. You got to do it this way. You got to go A, B, C, and do it like that. A, B, C, and then, so you got to get 3, 3, 5. Now the 5 down here we get, so this, is this a little bit of a force fit? Yeah, it is. Yeah, because, I mean, you can certainly see the potential for that to be a 5, but it just doesn't play ball that way. Right, so ABC into the 5. So we get this just being a flat, right? A flat into the 4, and then we get the ripper. Now, what's interesting here is how long we stayed at this resistance. So we came back here and we bang, bang, bang. We can't get through until, now what happens, right? Fed starts raising rates. Right, so the dollar becomes more attractive. So it would make, I had this here just to say 1, 2. If this is the 4, oh, do we make the 100? Now what are we hitting right now? Median line, right? So now we had tagged it already. Note here, it shows that we tagged here, but that's before we got this pivot. Now, there's a little bit of working to find the right fit here, because your first thought might have been, let's get you off here. Oh, I think I have it locked. Your first thought would have been to put it over here. Hang on. Let's unlock it. Your first thought would have been to put it here. And like I say, okay, we're there, but I'm going to, just because I've been working with these for so long, right, I know that I might pull back one other pivot here and see how that plays. And this does seem to play, to make for a better fit. So, you know, that's kind of trader's choice as to how hard you want to lean into that. We've got an algo target up here, if that's the 3. We came 50 to the tick, came back, hit the resistance here. Now back to the 50, right? When this resistance here is, we're talking about hard to miss, right? Prior resistance becoming the support. I mean, it almost looks like it's faked, right? No, oh, it can't be that precise, can it? Well, right, I'll let you draw your own conclusion. So really what you look at here and go, wow, that's wonder why, what was going on here at 103.75? Why was that such a big resistance level? And you'd have the same thought down here. Why can't it get through? And you might look left and say, oh, it's the resistance, or is it the 50? Well, again, this algo, now this is a 3-day chart of the dollar. What do you think I'm going to find there? Just if you had to guess, what do you think I'm going to find there? Like I said to you guys, it makes zero difference what the asset is. They all trade the same way. This algo is in every asset, period. Period. There is no asset where you will not find it, period. 3-day on the dollar. Boom, boom, boom. Right, 50, golden zone. So golden zone to the 50. Back to the golden zone, back to the 50. Now finally we break. Where's the target? Now we're going to get that? What do we got up there? 111, 185. We're going to get that? Well, I wouldn't bet against it. If we don't get it, the only reason we won't get it is because the algorithm response here at the median line is going to keep it from getting there. We're just going to run out of time. Now, so at this point, it doesn't look like we'll get it here before the end of the day. I mean, shit, we might. We might get it. But, are you looking to short the dollar here? Well, I'm not sure that's the right play. Remember, an algo target is not a sell signal, right? It's not a sell signal. And I'm pulling here. Oh, shit, let's just take that one off. Now, if this is going to complete, right? Now, we don't know when the top is in, but if it completes well, let's see here. Let's just use the algo target. What do we get? Well, we'll just go up a little bit higher, right? Something like that. Let's say we get the algo target. Okay, well, this now comes off. What are we, right? What's the setup here? Do we just assume? Now remember, right? Don't get confused here. These we've already had the reaction here. So now I'm simulating if I were to get a pivot here at the algo target off of this 50, and we're going to start to come down. If right. So first, what would make that happen, right? If Fed's going to keep raising rates. Right, that's going to make the dollar more attractive, right? So at some point here, someone's going to have to blink. Otherwise, this will just keep going and going, right? Money travels towards treated best, right? If we're going to keep raising interest rates, more dollar is likely to follow. So as we sit here looking at this, if this ends up being a completed impulse, oh shit, here it looks like there's again, some of this stuff. You can't make it up, right? I mean, it's damn near just a perfect channel. So I mean, maybe we get it that far up here. I mean, we doesn't have to be algo target to the tick. We get something like this. Well, what's the anticipation, right? Not the certainty, the anticipation. Oh, well, maybe we'll get a little retrace, and we're going to come back down to some of these lower levels. Well, it's hard to think that through on the macro level. Oh, so is the Fed going to be lowering rates, make the dollar less attractive? Well, we shall see. But you can't be trading Bitcoin. Shit, anything you're trading against the dollar, you got to pay attention to what's happening with the dollar. And right now, the dollar is on an absolute tear. Why? Right? Why is the dollar on a tear? Well, I think we all know, right? Rising interest rates. So is there a nice clear? All right. So back to one of my earlier points. Elliott is always most effective at higher time frames. Right, when you're down in the 5 and the 15, it's squirrely. Now there are times, right, when you can use it to your advantage. Well, here now it looks quite different, right? You label it, change it a little bit, and you don't see the same 1 2 1 2, do you? Right. So be cognizant of how you're labeling and what you put on the chart influences the way your brain interprets what's coming next. Right. We have a tendency to fill in the blanks. Right? So that's why it's a good idea to have multiple counts, or however you want to separate them, so that you've got a primary and an alternate or two, so that you're prepped for whatever comes. Right? It's just something to think about. Okay, how are we doing? All right, I was trying to keep this short today, but I think what I'll do is wrap here, because I had a lot of plans here, but I'm going to try and do something. Well, I've got a couple of things I'm working on. Not enough time. Okay, so look for some more detail about BitGet to come from us. Again, I would encourage you guys to come take a peek at it. Right now, the bonus here is on funding your account. So a minimum of $1,000, or equivalent, right? If you're sending crypto over, 1,000 or equivalent deposited, and then you'll get that free month, right? So $200 value, right? It's not a bad little kicker. This is that bonus. If you're not interested in looking at a crypto exchange, all of these are going, again, they are case sensitive, so capital labor, right? I'll leave you with those, right? Oh, we even put it down here, coupon code all caps, right? So don't forget that. That'll also be over on our Twitter feed. Here you can learn a little bit more about BitGet. I mean, a few things to note here. As I mentioned, no KYC, lowest fees in the industry, right? That ought to be attractive just by itself. All sorts of products here. I went over the margin futures, the nice leverage, one-click copy trading, and then here, this is a standard offer, 10% up to 150, or 1 month of TDU educational membership, right? If you use that, now you could click here, you could use this link here, or you could click, or it's in our link tree as well, but just a click here will take you right over there, and of course that we benefit from that. Full disclosure, of course, we're going to benefit from that. So, but that's one possibility for you to use that, and just sign up. Again, it is you are up and running in seconds. It's sweet. All right. So a few other little kickers here and some benefits to trading there. Again, you're going to hear lots more about that from me, and most of any demos we do now we'll feature it on BitGet because we like them. Okay, guys, there you go. That's I think all I've got today. But I wanted to show you just that kind of a short term, right? Don't, if you're not sure what the hell, I don't know what the hell this is going to be, but I can look over here and go, boy, that's an impulse. There's an AB. They take the ride down for the C. Okay, guys, there you go. I hope that helps. I hope these are things that you would want to participate in, take advantage of these, save yourself a little dough, and come on over to BitGet. I think you'll like the water here. It's really a nice exchange. Okay, guys, have a good afternoon, good weekend, and we'll be back for our live stream on Monday. Okay, take it easy.